Hi, Harry. Hi, John. Hi, Pong. Hi, Dream. What are you watching, Dream? Tea. It's always tea. Or sometimes a refresher, a strawberry refresher, but mostly tea. Home. Me too, Danielle. Is it Daniel or Daniel? How to stop thinking about time. The more that you focus on yourself, Sierra, the more you focus on yourself and like doing things you love and focusing on your everyday life and focusing on the present moment, you just don't think about time anymore because you start to be at peace with where you're at. I think what causes you to focus on the time is because you're focused too much on the manifestation still. So the more that you can take your attention off the manifestation and remind yourself that it's done and just keep saying it's done whenever you think about it and just focus on this current reality and making the best of this current reality, you start to release the resistance around time as well. Oh man, I have one for you today. Credentials. What was it? I was going to say something. I had something for it today and I already forget. I'm so forgetful. Oh, I always get that rolling, Julia. Manifesting is just just first know this, you're always manifesting. Your thoughts are always creating your reality. That's what manifesting is. So when people talk about manifesting, it's just because now it's making you aware that you are manifesting, that your thoughts do create your reality. A fit check. Oh, that's okay. Oh my God, it's like so rainy here. So just knowing that your thoughts create your reality, knowing that whatever you want to experience is done in this very moment because every possible reality exists in this very moment. You're unlimited, right? And just also knowing that whenever you want to experience, it's done right now. And your main focus is to know that it's done, but focus on this current reality and just know that you're moving towards it in this very moment. And when things happen that aren't favorable in this current reality, you practice non-reaction, you practice remaining calm and allow those moments to pass. I don't think I astral project. What are you put out comes back. Yes, JB. So technically overthinking. Are you saying, wait, what do you mean to manifest? No, you actually want to do the opposite. When you understand that you create your own reality, most of the things you're living now are unconscious creation, so they're unfavorable. So you actually want to do the opposite of overthinking. You want to meditate. You want to quiet your thoughts as much as possible. You want to, when you're not feeling so great, remain calm and let those moments pass, because those things that don't feel good are all unfavorable stories and thoughts that you created unconsciously. And now that you're aware that you create your own reality, you're moving towards your best life and the things that you actually want to experience and things that are actually meant for you, right? So it's about like becoming, moving towards your best life, basically. And how you do that is by releasing what doesn't serve you, releasing all the unfavorable thoughts. And the best way to do that is to practice non-reaction, to remain calm when things don't feel good. Also to cut out a lot of things that don't serve you right now, because you can do that right now. You can cut out things that don't serve you, that don't feel good. Because remember, you create your own reality, right? Everybody's creating their own reality through their thoughts. Exactly, JB. My favorite line, JB, is stay in your own lane. Just keep staying in your own lane. Thank you. And like that's why I say cut out a lot of things that just don't serve you, right? Like so many things, like outside things control our mood, right? Yeah, Kramer, I've been jumping on here twice a day. It's funny because I started doing the daytime lives because I wasn't really able to do the nighttime lives anymore. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to jump on during the day because I have a nice space of time before I like run to the store and stuff. And now I'm like, oh my God, I have time to do them now too. So now I'm doing them twice a day, which is so funny how things happen. It's been proven that a positive emotion energy is literally, yes, JB, that's so true. Well-being always wins. That's what Abraham Hicks says too. Abraham Hicks says that if there's one person in a higher energy and like everyone else isn't, that person in a higher energy will win. Hi, Christine. And not win and like win is the best or anything. It's just they'll dominate the room. The person in the higher energy will always dominate the room. Okay, JB, that's so cool. Do you have any tips on remembering your worth and remembering you're the prize? So Tanisha, I don't do like that. I feel like that's more of like law of assumption. I think that people talk about doing that. I don't teach manifestation that way. I kind of more so try to like teach people that you have your own inner guidance system, right? That you have all the answers within, and by focusing on non-reaction and focusing on yourself and knowing what you want is done, that all happens very naturally, Tanisha. The more that you're practicing non-reaction when you don't feel good, you just start to you start to feel better, right? You start to understand these concepts more. You start to become your more of your true authentic self, if that makes sense. I never did a vision board. Never did one of those. Hi, Matt. Hi, Butch. So I say more so, Tanisha, like, all you're doing is knowing what you want is done, and then from there you're focusing on yourself as much as you can, and really focusing on this current reality, this current moment, and you're doing what you can do in this current moment to make the best of this current moment, right? The more you can make it about this current moment, I know this is annoying, and feeling the best you can in this current moment and remaining calm when you don't, practicing non-reaction, that's all you have to do. I know that seems so simple. You don't have to be like act as if, you don't have to do any of those things. You're only creating a feel-good atmosphere within. Because remember this, whatever you want, like let's say you're living your best life right now, guys, you're on your best timeline, which remember, you're unlimited. You can be, do, and have anything you want. So you're literally, your best timeline exists right now. How are you going to feel? You're going to be joyful. You're going to be excited. You're going to be at peace in your life. You're just going to feel free. So you start feeling those feelings now, right? Oh, thanks, JB. You start practicing those feelings now, and you practice those by more so making it about when you don't feel good, because when you feel good, you're in flow and you're just feeling you're that's your true self, right? That's your true nature. So you're kind of just flowing through life when you're just feeling good, right? Make it more when you don't feel good, because when you don't feel good, that's just an unfavorable story, an unfavorable thought that you created unconsciously. And the only thing you got to do to dissolve that, guys, is just by staying calm. You don't have to try to figure it out. You don't have to wonder where it came from. People always say, like, how do you address your blocks? How do you address your dominant beliefs? You do that by remaining calm. When something doesn't feel good and it's so uncomfortable and it's just horrible, it feels so bad, that's your limiting belief right there. That's what that is. And the more that you can just remain calm and not try to figure it out, it will pass. And that's you moving forward. It will dissolve. That story will keep dissolving and fading in your reality that doesn't serve you. And that means everything around that you're manifesting. Because when you're letting go of what doesn't serve you, you're allowing what's meant for you to come in. And that includes your manifestations and other things that you forgot about. That's why I say when you do this practice, not only are you moving towards what you actually want, you're manifesting specifically, you're moving towards everything, your best life. This reality actually starts to get better pretty quickly. I keep gaining weight during menopause. How do I stop it? So Lena, so I always say just be careful of what you're like listening to. And remember, they're all beliefs as well. So, just know that like you're moving towards the healthy version of you in this very moment, because you of course you're sending out that intention right here and now. Like people always ask me about like your menstrual cycle and all this stuff, and like, is it true that women have these mood swings, this and that? And I'm like, I never had those beliefs. I've never had those beliefs around any of that. So it's a belief. Everything is literally a belief. But here's the thing about beliefs, guys. It's that when so many of us have a belief, and it's all over the ads and the news, and it's all over Facebook, and it's all you start to believe it as well, because people are so convincing. This is why I tell you to quiet your world. Really go within, meditate. You have all the truths within you, right? So the more that you can just practice feeling the best you can in each moment and remaining calm when you don't, I promise you, quiet your outside world as much as possible for a while, and trust me, everything will unfold. Quantum healing. Isn't that's what Joe, I feel like that's what Joe Dispenza, does he talk about that, Matt? Oh, Jerry Springer. I keep gaining weight. So first, stop saying that, Lena. Stop saying that you keep gaining weight, right? I always say just start shifting your focus just a little bit, Lena, by saying like, oh wow, I'm losing weight right now. I can and even if you start saying like I'm moving towards my best weight right now, like you can just slightly shift your focus by saying something just a little bit lighter, right? You don't have to say, oh, I'm so skinny and look at me, I look amazing. Like that's hard to believe when we're trying to like manifest something, when we say I'm a millionaire and we clearly don't feel it at all. So just shift your focus a little bit into saying like, oh my gosh, I feel my body's getting better. I'm feeling better. I'm feeling lighter. So just start like saying just slightly different things. Like that's why I always say go more general when it comes to affirmations. Do we just leave it if someone isn't responding to messages? You shouldn't care. You shouldn't care if someone's not responding to you. That means you're still that's reacting. If you're worried about someone not responding to you, or you're that's insecurity still. So that you're still reacting. So you just stay calm. You just stay calm, and you just don't let it bother you. Use that as an opportunity to practice non-reaction. Would you ever want to be in, I'm assuming that's a relationship, but would you ever, that's not a healthy relationship where you're worried if someone's not texting you or what they're doing. That's not healthy. You don't want that. I always say, this is what I say to people that are manifesting relationships. I don't want the relationship. I don't want nobody until I know I'm my best self. And I want somebody that's also their best self. So you don't want to settle for anything less than that. And that's hard for people to hear, because people want relationships to fill a void, but you don't want one to fill a void. You want to be able to be your own source of happiness all the time. So you don't want to, you see that, like when you're saying, who cares about how long it takes? If you're focused on yourself, and you're focused more on this present moment now and making the best of this current reality, you won't even care about time. You'll just know that when it comes in, it's going to be good and it's going to be perfect, right? So the more you focus on this current reality and feeling good without the manifestation, knowing it's already done, right? And it's unfolding in this very moment. And the more you remind yourself of that and just make the best of this current reality, time will not even bother you. You'll be like, I don't even care if it doesn't come for another year, because I'm happy. I'm living my life. I feel good with who I am and where I am right now, and I know I'm moving towards more. You want to get yourself to a place where you can say that confidently. Like you can say, you know what? It doesn't mean you don't want it ever. It just means you're actually at a very good place in your life where if it didn't come for another year, I'm okay, because I'm fulfilled. I am my own source of happiness. I have a good life right now, right? So just know that when you're too focused on time, you're still in a chasing energy. Hi, Heather. I said hi to Christine. I see Heather's in here as well. Hey, oh, I said hi to you, Matt. Kelsey, yeah, that's so true. I have quite literally. Yes, right, JB? So first, just know, Grizzle, that like as soon as you set that intention out, you're moving towards it right now, right? That reality exists for you. And the best thing to do, especially with your body, and this is what I did, and this is what manifested my like the best results, was literally taking my attention off of it. And that's how I manifest everything the best way possible. Take your attention off of it. And like, don't go on a scale. What kind of happened for me is that like, I just started looking at food differently, looking at more as energy and not listening to what other people say about food and their limiting beliefs around food, and not looking at labels or anything like that, just eating it because I wanted it. And, you know, obviously in moderation, I didn't overeat. So you'll be led to you'll be led to your path of least resistance around your best body, if that makes any sense. Hi, Steph. How are you? I'm good, Taz. How are you? Heather, I did not cook tonight. We had spaghetti yesterday, so we had leftovers. But I actually, oh, no, we had steak tonight. We had steak. I'm thinking like, did we eat? Yeah. But I also got lunch meat as well. Oh God, I had a lot going on today. Seeing if I missed anything. One of the keys. Yes. So something I learned, me personally, JB, with gratitude. Yeah, Mr. Steve, my cat. He's never climbs on things, but here he's climbing. What you doing? He wants this window open. I had to open up that window. Something I learned from me personally with gratitude is that I couldn't force gratitude. It came natural to me over time when things started changing in my life. But I remember always hearing like, be grateful, practice gratitude, do a gratitude practice. That didn't work for me, to be truthfully honest. And this is just my experience. I had to start seeing the changes in my life in order to start being gratitude. I know that's probably not the right way to do it, but it never felt natural until it was like I seen the changes happening. But whenever I was trying to do a gratitude practice, I was like trying, and it felt so fake. Like I'd be like, I am so grateful for my kids. I am so grateful. But there was no feeling behind it, right? Yeah, it is a mind shift. You're so right. Like I think the more that I started to see the changes in my life, then I was like, oh my gosh. Like I was practicing calmness, of course, but that's when it was like, oh wow, now I'm seeing these changes. Like now I'm becoming grateful. As a byproduct, I started to become grateful. So when I was just remaining calm and making it about feeling the best I could in each moment, feeling good no matter what, which that's a practice in itself. And even that, I tell people not to try too hard to feel good, because that is effort too, right? All right, let me close this window now. He's done exploring. Steven! But what if you genuinely miss the person? I can distract myself and stay calm. But so Kim, missing someone is lack. Missing someone is still reacting, right? Because it's still like you still have to practice remaining calm in that moment. Steve, I don't want this window open. Right? So like it's okay to have those moments, and it's okay that's okay if that's where you're at, right? But just in those moments, just remain calm and try to get it to like a good place of like, of course you care about someone, of course you care about them. Like my kids, like I think about my kids and I care about them all the time. Steven, this can't happen. I'm freezing, mister. This cat. Come here. He wants to go out because he was inside all day. Yeah, so just make it more about you and feeling good on your own and feeling good without the relationship, and, you know, filling up your own cup. And in those moments when you're feeling like sad, you want to remain calm because that's reacting, right? So it's just a practice of practicing non-reaction. That's it. And again, making it about filling up your own cup and feeling good on your own, right? Exactly, JB. Hi, Heba. How are you? Why does the 3D not change even one has changed the mindset? There's a little bit of delay, Marion. Why does the 3D not change even though one has changed the mindset and have been feeling good? But the thing about it is that sometimes what happens is, so there's a delay in that, and like it reflecting back to you. Oh, hi, JB. Thank you. There is like a little, my cat. Steven, do you want me to hold you? Because I will. Come here. There's a little bit of a delay in that. So a lot of times what happens is we react again and we take a couple steps back because we don't see changes. So we're like, and sometimes it's when things are so close. That's why I keep telling you to keep practicing remaining calm, keep practicing feeling good no matter what. Even in those moments where you're just like, why is nothing happening? Say that in a really calm voice, because sometimes it's literally right around the corner, right? And we react again, and then it's like we almost push it a little bit away. It's not like you're not going to get it. That's why this is a practice. This cat. That's why it's a practice, because there's a little bit of delay in that reflecting back to you, right? And again, like I said, sometimes we end up reacting again because we're like, it's taking too long. And then we go take a couple steps back and away, right? But trust me, practicing remaining calm and practicing non-reaction, it will all take care of itself. And I always say, like, oh, thank you. Do what makes you happy. Thanks, Darius. So just know, like, that's okay, because it's only helping you practice non-reaction. You're going to get it. Don't worry. Just keep remaining calm. Keep focusing on yourself. Keep focusing on this current reality, making the best of this current reality, right? And what's going to happen? This current reality is going to keep getting better and better, and you're going to keep getting better and better. Now, I don't like saying you are going to get better, but you're going to keep releasing what doesn't serve you in those moments. So it's going to show up. It's just sometimes, like, not sometimes, there is a delay in that reflecting back to you, right? Well, what do you mean make them chase you? I don't understand the question. You don't want to, you don't want to manifest, you don't want that either. You don't want someone chasing you. You want a healthy relationship. Well, that's because that's where you are right now. Like, you're thinking, like, I just want them to, chase me and be obsessed with me, but that would get old really quick, right? That's still, that's still like reacting. That's still in a lower energy, right? What about manifesting more fun and ease? That's actually, well, in DT, like, that's kind of a part of it, right? So that's why I love general affirmations, because they're the affirmations that I listen to. Fun, unlimited, magical, happiness, joyful. Like, they're my affirmations, right? Because when you keep practicing, focusing on like this current reality again, making the best of this current, that is a byproduct as well, like having more fun and more ease, right? And actually they're my favorite affirmations, like ease and flow, fun, like exciting. Like, I like to just use more so words, right? And that's what I'll like go to sleep to. I'll go to sleep to just general affirmations and just keep it very simple and very general. So Mariam, yes, in a way, you're not really ignoring it, because some things are so dominant and they feel so real, right? So I didn't ignore anything. Honestly, I didn't ignore anything. I'm just gonna be truthfully honest, guys. I just practiced remaining super calm in those moments, even in that uncomfortable moment. It wasn't always comfortable, and I just didn't react. So I stayed as calm as possible. So no, it was in my face. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I did not just ignore it. Maybe some things I could, But some things I couldn't. They were just too dominant in my reality. And this is why I talk about non-reaction so much. I stayed so calm in that discomfort. I just kept breathing and breathing slow and remaining super calm and just not reacting to it. And maybe saying things in a higher, kinder energy, coming from like a compassionate energy. And that's how things faded out of my life. So I didn't ignore things. I didn't. That's awesome, JB. Do you say them or listen to a recording? I actually say them, Darius. There's a thing called Voice Record Pro. It's Voice Record Pro. I have it on my private Facebook group, a little picture of it. And it's me recording my voice. And you can listen to it on a loop at night. It's awesome. I absolutely love it. That's why, and even me, like my meditations, like, and I tell people, like, quiet your will as much, but quieting your mind, practicing meditation, doing breath work, instead of scrolling through like TikTok or Facebook or any of that, listen to a beat, listen to beat sounds or like music. I love like a upbeat thing, and I just listen to the beat and I start like almost like singing to the beat a little bit. And that, to me, that's a form of meditation. I feel relaxed. I stop worrying about things. I stop overthinking in that moment. And it just puts me at a really good place. And then I get like an inspired impulse to do something. So don't think of meditation as like old, outdated meditating where you got to sit and like hum, or you have to like quiet your thoughts and get into this deep, deep meditative state. No, you could just listen to like a nice sound and do it consistently. And you're going to connect and you're going to get an inspired impulse to do something. And I post a lot of those on my on TikTok as well, guys. Like a lot of like meditations that I like. I used to do fan sounds. Now I'm getting into the beats, and I really like the beats. And like anytime I'm like just my mind's all over the place because I have resistance in the morning when I wake up, and I just sit down after I get ready and I just listen to those beat sounds, and then I'm good. Then I get up and I start cleaning and doing things. I don't even listen to words anymore. I just listen to the beats. No problem, Darius. I just posted, my most recent one today was one that my son actually made for me because he's all into like music and stuff like that. Darius, check in my easy, fun meditations. I have a couple like rain sound ones too and like wind sounds, but then I have a couple beat sounds. I just posted one just before I got on here, and I was just saying it was the first one my son sent me because he does all kinds of music. And I told him, like, I want him to start sending me more because I love them. Like, they're so catchy. They're so cool. Oh, I know, Steph. It's because what happened today was that he slept all day because it was raining here. So he slept all day, and now he wants to go out tonight. And it's late. It's too late for him. Not only that, but it's raining out. So, like, I don't want him to be out, like, in the rain. Can you tell us how to do breath work again? Yeah, Heather. So how I do breath work, or how I used to do breath work, and it saved my life many, many times, guys. I would, what I would do is I would take a deep breath in. So I would take a deep breath in, and I would hold that breath for as long as I could, right? So I would deep breath in, hold it for as long as I could, and then I would do just stomach in and out, like nothing hard at all, just in, out, in, out. And then until I couldn't hold my breath anymore, I would be doing the stomach in and out, and then I would let it out nice and slow. And yeah, they say to do it through your nose, but I did whatever was comfortable in that moment or wherever I was at, whatever like worked for me in that moment. But that's all you're doing. And practice it because you'll feel better when you do it, especially if you're panicking or if you have anxiety. Yeah. Oh, he's back here. You can probably see him. There he is. Like he's going to see my cat. I'm like, what? Yes, JB, I did. I just put my ebook out, Feel Good, Stay Calm. That one's my most recent ebook that's out. I have 2 books that I wrote like about 3 years ago one that I had published, and the second one I self-published. They're more, I guess you'd say, more about my life, but also about this stuff too. Obviously, I ain't as clear as I am today on this information. But the most recent one is my ebook. And I'm working on another one as well called Release Resistance. Thanks, JB. Okay, exhale through the mouth. Feels like you release more air. Yeah, you know what? I'm a big believer in, Heather. I'm a big believer in doing what feels best for you. Like, because that worked for me. And I used to do it through the mouth all the time. Then I read something, of course, that said do it through the nose. So I think you got to do what feels best for you. Always trust your own inner guidance, because I did it through the mouth and it worked for me. It always made me feel like I always had so much relief from it, and I would be able to like calm myself down when I was in a panic, right? Especially like at work and stuff when I was learning all this stuff. JB, it's actually right here. You can get it like right here. I never know where to point, but I guess on my face there, and then it'll say link, like link tree, and then like you'll see. It's the first. I think it's actually the first thing. It says my new ebook, and it'll take you right to the newest ebook. I'm pretty sure it's the first link. Send me your feedback, JB. I'm all about like whatever's easy and simple. And not only is easy and simple powerful, guys, it's just that it's so hard for people to take their attention away from the outside world because we need that stimulation all the time. But I always tell people, if you want to speed to your manifestations, if you want to speed to your best life, and I don't even like to say that because then people like, but I'm telling you, it's about you just quiet your outside world as much as you can. Meditate as much as you can, and stay away from a lot of things that just don't serve you anymore, and give yourself that time to yourself to be alone, to be your own best friend for a while. And to me, that's what speeds you to your manifestations. I don't know, it just leads you to things that are actually meant for you. Me too, Darius. That's all I'm about. Like, I've always been that person. I've always been like less is best. I've always been like drama free, gossip free, never had a lot of friends because I just didn't like the pressure of like having a lot of friends, because I knew it would like lead to like gossip and drama. So like I just was always a like quiet, kept to myself type of person, right? I just know that like, I know like a lot of people say like it gets boring, but I think that's part of the process as well. Like when you're really going within and you're quieting your outside world, moving towards your best life, right? Because that's what you're here for, guys. It is going to get quiet for a while. It is going to get a little lonely at times, because you're learning how to be okay in those moments and be okay like being alone. And in those moments, put on a sound, like a music sound that you like. Put on, it's not like you can't do anything and you have to sit in silence, right? Just do something that's like, I don't even say productive, like just do something to just be able to relax into your body in those moments and connect with that like higher, infinite intelligence, higher self, or like whatever we call it, whatever we want to call it. Oh God, oh God, oh God. Hi, Sherry. Yes, me too, JB. I always did too. I was always the girl like when plans would get canceled, like everyone would be like, "Oh, we got to plan something else," and I'd be like, "Oh, that's okay. Like, that's all right. Plans got canceled." Like I would be like, "Oh, I get to crawl in my bed and drink a cup of tea." Like I never was like brokenhearted when plans got canceled. But like things do start picking up though, but it's more things that are meant for you and that you actually want to do. So that's what I noticed. I noticed that like, things start to pick up, but it's different because it's like you actually like doing it. It's like, wow, this is weird. This feels like amazing. Like, because it's not like what you were doing before all this. I was forced to get up to go to work every day. I was forced to, do like these things that society wanted me to do, right? It's Friday. Hi, Kirk. How are you? Long time no see, Kirk. Are you saying being lone Kramer is addicting? Oh yeah, JB. I like seeing like different faces as well. It's nice seeing different faces, and of course my regulars are always here. It's nice when new people pop in too. Hi, Allison. So Hebet, don't think about it as having to do it correctly, right? Because there's no wrong or right way. I look at it more so for me, Heba, is what works best for me to quiet my thoughts, right? So I always say play around with different things. Like for me, Heba, right now, it's listening to just like a nice beat, a nice like cool beat that catches my ears because I'm focused on that beat and I find myself just listening to that beat. And that alone is just releasing all resistance. And it's stopping my thoughts because I'm focused on the beat, right? So if you can like, I would say try not to have any sounds in the background. If anything, make sure it's like something positive, like an affirmation or something. But if you can get it to where it's like silence, sometimes even an affirmation can cause resistance. So silence is good. So even if it be, or you might just want to listen to a fan noise or rain sounds. And what I always say is if you're new to meditating and you find yourself still thinking even with sounds, just keep going back to the beat sound. Keep going back to the beat sound. Sometimes it's good to look at an image and that can help you as well. That's why I post some of my meditations. I post the image and the beat because sometimes people need that image as well and the sound to really stop their thoughts from taking over. And I'm all about, I feel scared that my life is falling apart the more I move towards what I want. So, Nikki, that's probably a belief that you picked up. Like you'll see a lot of that out there with manifesting is your whole life has to fall apart before manifestations come in. And these 3 things are going to happen. Like try to stay away. That's why I really try to tell people, stay away from a lot of the information that's out there. It's very like, it's other people's beliefs that you're picking up. Nikki, just know that that's a fear-based belief as well. And in those moments, just stay calm and just say, no, I'm moving towards better. I'm moving towards my best life. This is amazing. And just start practicing remaining calm in those moments because that's just a fear-based belief. Are you supposed to quiet your thoughts or listen to them? No, Heba, I quiet my thoughts. I always did it that way. For as long as I've been meditating, Heba, I'm all about quieting my thoughts. I don't want my thoughts because most of my thoughts were very unfavorable, especially in the beginning. And even later, like it was more of like overthinking thoughts. So I like to quiet them down. So I keep focusing back on that sound and stopping my thoughts over and over again. I know a lot of people will explain it as letting your thoughts pass by, but that's not how I meditated. I did it to where like I just kept quieting my thoughts. Like I'm in control. And I would just keep quieting them down over and over again. But that's just, again, that's me personally. You can play around with it and see what works best for you as well. You can practice remaining calm when those thoughts are popping up and do that practice as well. So just remember, there's really no wrong or right. Oh, thanks, Darius. It's about trusting yourself and what feels right for you, right? Right? Because everybody has their like own little things and that works for them. Yeah, and you know, it's funny, Sherry, but nothing fell apart for me. And that's what I'm trying to explain. Like, you know, I just really quieted my outside world. Yes, I had things that were falling away, but to me, it doesn't have to fall apart. That's also a belief in itself, me personally, because that's what my experience is. This doesn't have to be a painful process, but I think that can be a belief in itself, personally. But it's also not a bad thing because it's also leading you to what you want. So don't be afraid of if it does happen that way. Don't be afraid of it. So I get what Sherry's saying also. Like, don't be afraid or fear. Don't put fear around that things are falling apart. Turn it into something positive, and it's letting you know that you're moving towards what's actually meant for you, right? Any nirvana in meditation. Any nirvana. Kirk, check out my most recent ones because they're cool. They're actually really cool beats. They might not, they're not Nirvana. You're talking about like the band? Is that what you're saying, Kirk? How do you ignore unfavorable thoughts that cause overthinking? Thanks. Is that from you, Matt? Thanks, Matt. And anxiety. How do you ignore unfavorable thoughts that cause overthinking and anxiety? Breath work. Breath work will help Heba in those moments, right? And practicing remaining calm, girl. Like you just got to keep settling into that discomfort, that unfavorable thought, and you got to quiet that thought down as much as how you quiet that thought down, Heba, is you quiet your body down in those moments, Heba. It's a practice. Non-reaction is a practice. Trust you me. I've been there. I can tell you right now, I know what these stories feel like. I know they feel crippling. I know they take you to your knees. I know I've been there, but you have to keep remaining calm. Keep it to yourself as much as possible. Just say, I know this is going to pass. I know I'm moving towards my best life. Say things like, everything is working in my favor. Even this moment here, it's given me the opportunity to release this. Keep calming yourself down. Be your own best friend in those moments, Hebe. It gets easier. Trust me, it gets easier. Because when you're slowing down your energy, Hebe, they're not manifesting. When you're breathing slower and you're moving slower, even though it's not comfortable when they're hanging around, right? They're floating around you still. But when you're moving slower and breathing slower, they're not manifesting. They're dying. They're actually dying off. You're giving them no power to manifest. So even though you're still uncomfortable with them, if you're keeping it to yourself and you're keeping quiet, and Hebe, if you have to cry, that's perfectly fine. It doesn't mean you're messing anything up. Release that resistance. If you have to scream, release that resistance. I promise you it's dying off. I promise you it's dying off. Oh, hi, Orange. Have a good, yes. I feel like that was for me, Orange. Take a deep breath, right? Keep building that conscious muscle. Yes, Matt is so right. Thanks, JB. Matt is so right. Oh, thanks, Sherry. Oh, yes, it is okay. Oh, of course, Nikki. Oh my gosh, we're human. Like, these are all, listen, nobody on this journey to waking up that we create our own realities, that our thoughts create our reality, doesn't have unconscious stuff that we created, right? That's just fear-based beliefs that we're all overcoming. So we're all like in this together, right? That's what Abraham always says. So yes, it's okay to freak out. It's okay to scream. I used to scream in my car. I would scream. I would get in my car and I would literally scream. And I had breakdowns and I would cry too. But I just kept moving forward. I kept picking myself up again, right? So I manifested a lot. Like, I know I get this question all the time. And I manifested a lot, but most of the things that I manifested were me doing techniques to do it. And what happened with me with manifesting those things is that I found myself on a never-ending cycle and asking more questions of like, I don't understand. I'm manifesting what I want. I'm manifesting, not working anymore. I'm manifesting but why am I still not happy? And it was because I was still not focused on practicing non-reaction. And I was still trying to get something outside of me to fill a void. So until I really started practicing remaining calm and, doing the practice that I talk about all the time now, that's when I started really manifesting that inner peace, that peace within. And things that are manifesting now are like my true desires. That's what I always say. Like me writing my books for a living. Like I always wanted to manifest that. And knowing that I'm okay with where I'm at, but I'm always moving towards more, like with money. Even I don't tell people to manifest money or manifest a certain amount of money or how can I get more of this or because you're too fixated on something, right? You need to make it more about knowing that who you are is going to bring in money. Being your true self is going to bring in money. Doing what you love is going to bring in money. Because if you're doing something for money, you're never going to be happy. You're going to always be on a never ending cycle. You're always going to be trying to, something outside of you to fill something, right? So I don't tell people to manifest money. I know people will teach that and that's fine. That's fine if people want to manifest that way. But to me, that felt like a never ending loop, right? That felt like a never ending cycle. So it's about accepting with thank you. Accepting with where you're at with money, even if it's not the $1 million or the empire yet, but you're moving towards it in this very moment. And it's only going to increase as you expand your energy and who you are and become more of yourself. So I always like the general affirmations of I have everything I need right now that I am taken care of and provided for in this very moment. And I'm exactly where I need to be. And it just keeps getting better. And that is also in regards to money and finances. Hi, Joseph. Sometimes we think the things we desire will make us happy. You have to. Yes, Heather. Yes, it's like what do they call it? And is it an oxymoron, Heather? Is that the right word, guys? Where you really are learning how to be happy without these things. And that's what's literally going to bring them in. And how you do that is by, definitely practicing non-reaction, because non-reaction will put you right back into alignment. And then just doing things you like, in your everyday life. I always say, for me, it was painting my nails and going to get my favorite drink and making dinner for my kids and like hanging out with my kids and, you know, like that kind of stuff. Being a mom. Yes, Sherry. Thanks, Joseph. I wasn't sure if I was digging these nails because like I do like I like the press on ones because then I can like pop them off when I'm tired of them. And I wasn't sure if I was really loving these because they're like almond shaped, but I really wanted to do almond shaped because the I always did square. Like I'm like, you know, from back in the day, like this you had to do extra square. So I was like, I gotta be hip. I gotta get the almond. I gotta do something cool. And now they're growing on me. I'm starting to really like them. But thank you. That makes me feel good. That's Steven. I have a Steven in my house too. Hi, Rich. How are you? Super mom. Yeah, BB. Hi, BB. I just drove my son to his girlfriend's. Aw, I'm just seeing if I missed anything. They were good. I really liked them. I actually had mashed potatoes from the day before. So I had leftovers with I made cheeseburger sliders the other day and I put the cheeseburger on top and I'm like a mixer. Like I like to mix like all my food together. Oh, thank you. So I liked it. And my son really liked them too. So me and him mostly liked them. My one son wasn't home, so he didn't get to have them. Oh, thanks, Rich. How is your heart today, Kira? How is my heart? My heart's full. But they were good. I like them. But if it's too different, my kids are just like, eh, mom, where's the spaghetti? Where's the tacos? How long did it take for all your old stories to die? April, I would say not that long. When I was full in on practicing non-reaction, April, even though in the moment it feels like they're never going to go away, when I'm telling you right now, when you're in the heat of it, when you're in the thick of it, it feels like these things you want to break down. But if you keep practicing calmness, it's going to happen really fast. You got to relax into that discomfort. Don't push the discomfort away. Sit in that discomfort. Even sometimes it takes a day. I used to be sitting in it for like a day sometimes, guys. Like I'm not kidding. And it wasn't like I wasn't crying or anything. I was just like still living my life, still doing what I had to do. It got less and less and less. It was like I look at it more as like I kept getting in higher energy, even though it was still happening, but it was like, it didn't feel the way it did at first, where at first it would take me to my knees, right? But the more you practice this, even on the days that you were in a little bit of a lower energy and it kind of stuck around, it was different. It was like I was in a higher energy. So it didn't feel the same as it used to. So you are gradually getting out of these lower energies. So April, I don't know the exact time frame, but I'm going to say like probably a year, which I don't think that's long. I know some people will say that that's long, but I try not to put a time on things. But I'm going to say probably when I was like, I'm doing this and I'm going to do this right. And I'm going to do the energy work no matter what it takes. I would say probably April, to be honest, a full year of me like just going all in. In the meantime, I was still making content. I was still, because I was seeing changes in my current reality. Things were changing and I was making content because this is what I obviously love to do, right? And I was still every day showing up on here. I was still showing up for myself every day and every moment, even in those lower energies. Yeah, JB, check out definitely my book. If you're going to get my ebook, there's a lot of information in that. But not even just that. Check out all my videos in my playlist, JB. Like I have so many videos on release resistance that they're really good videos that kind of talk about this. You already know about creation and all that, so I think you're more advanced in this. So I would say definitely check out my book, and anything that my most recent playlist would be good. Like releasing resistance is really good, like has good information in it, and it's pretty cool. And Abraham Hicks talks about it, and I never even really knew she talked about it, but Sherry shared something in our private Also, we have a private Facebook group if anybody's interested. Sherry shared something about non-reaction that Abraham did talk about. I kind of always thought it was more of an Eckhart Tolle thing that he talked about non-reaction, but Abraham does too. Oh, thanks, Poppy. Did I say that right? And I also post these lives on my YouTube as well. I try to keep up with posting them for anyone that like misses them. I know like it's kind of the weekend. So I have this belief that like everybody's out on the weekends partying and stuff like that. So like, that's why TikTok is not as busy, but that's just a belief. Well, JB, I don't really go on actual Facebook, but I had done so many Facebook groups over time for just like this kind of stuff, but then other things I was trying, trial and error. I always tell people when I first learned this information, I was jumping timelines. My life was changing drastically. So like I was doing all kinds of things. I was going to post an 8 video, but it was kind of long and I didn't finish watching it. That's okay, Cher. I'm sure we'll love it. Oh, that's awesome, Rich. Have fun. Are you now more selective about what you give your attention to? So, April, I wouldn't say yes. I am very selective now about what I give my attention to. I would say yes to that. Yes. Especially mostly when it comes to TikTok. Like I stop going on it. I just say nope. If I find myself getting bored and bored scrolling, I instead listen to like a meditation sound instead. My life gradually did that for me. I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to like forcefully cut anything out of my life. It just started fading from my life because when your energy changes, only that of what matches your energy can be in your energy field, right? So like things just kind of fall from your life very naturally, right? I kind of made that example today in the private Facebook group about that, about how we, matching energies. And when you stay in that energy of your true self and you stay positive, it's kind of like people that aren't just won't be around you as much. So it kind of does the work for you. You don't really have to do anything, right? Oh yeah, definitely, Sherry. I love that because I don't listen to her as much as I used to. So if you guys posted, like I do get excited to see like what you are listening to, and I like to hear them. I can easily see you. Oh, thanks, Steve. I was going to call you Steve O because you had an O, but it says Stephen O. It's called Create Your Best Life, I'm pretty sure. Create Your Best Life, JB. Yeah, I did watch that, JB. I did watch The Secret. I really liked Rhonda. I did watch a lot of her YouTube videos for a while. She's very, got a lot of very good information about feeling good. Like it all says a lot of the same things, right? Feeling a pull to move location, Kira, not sure though. Any advice? So Matt, like, it's kind of like, I always say this when people say, like, ask me for my advice. It's definitely something you'll feel and you'll know is right for you, right? Like only you know by how it feels, right? So if you're at all indecisive, this is what I always say, like if you're still a little, even just a little indecisive, just let life clear that up for you. Keep doing these practices and Matt, go into a meditation and ask. How many times I used to go into meditation and ask, and I'm telling you I would get answers. I don't know. I don't care what anybody says. I always got the answers from meditation. Like people say not to do it if you're in a low energy or you make sure you're in a high energy. But if I got really calm and I had a question that needed an answer, I always got the answer. So start quieting your mind, Matt, getting really quiet with that request or with what you want moving, and just, get really quiet and think to yourself, like, What are the reasons why you want to move? You're not running from anything. If you're leaving at a good place where you're at now, I think that's what makes all the difference. When you're leaving and you're happy right now in this current reality, and it's kind of like it's used up. It's like, that's how I knew my job wasn't meant for me anymore. It just like, it kind of drained me, but I left at a good place. It wasn't like I left at a bad place, but I knew I was meant for more, if that makes sense, Matt. So kind of like go within and ask yourself those questions of like, am I leaving for like, because it's just, I'm ready for that now. I'm actually, I feel ready, right? Like trust your body, trust in like how it feels when you're talking about it and why you're leaving. Because a lot of times we leave things to escape. And I don't think that's where you're at though, just by knowing you. I don't think that's why you would be moving. Honestly, that's just from knowing you. I don't think that's where you're at. So this could be a positive thing for you. Oh, thanks, Burr. And it's, how do you ask? I literally just ask, April. Whatever the question is, I'll say something like, is there anything I need to know around this? Is there anything more I need to know about this? And it'll be just like something around anything at all. And I will, if I stay quiet and just keep relaxing, I will be led to it like April right away. I'm like right away the answer. So just like people say, you have to let go and all that. And I'm like, I don't know if I really let go. I'm at a calm state, so I'm able to let it in. So I don't believe it's really about letting go. Like people say, do I have to just ask and let go? No, I would just be at a really calm state. So I was open to receiving, right? So if you're asking, you just want to get yourself into a meditative, relaxed state and then stay there. So, cause you're still open to receive. So I would say try a meditation tape before you go to sleep, Alove. I hope I'm saying that right, but that's how I go to sleep. Listening to like affirmations of my voice, or listening to like rain sounds, or just a fan sound in my ear, like get headphones. Even if you just have one in on each side how you're sleeping, that's what I do. And that puts me right to sleep. So if you can try like a meditation that's very soothing and very like, I like my own voice, because if it's someone else's voice, I'm going to have weird dreams, like scary dreams. So I always recommend using your own voice. So yeah, so try it out, guys. Like, yeah, so it's not really about letting it go. It's just about getting yourself to that neutral state, because when you're at that neutral, calm state, non-reaction, which we're all good at because we're practicing daily, right? You're going to be open to receive the answer. You're going to be just at a very calm, like open state, right? You're going to be relaxed, and, find a meditation that you're comfortable with, that relaxes you in that moment, where you're just very relaxed and, at peace in that moment, and you will receive an answer. Sometimes it might be on your phone. You might just open something up and it just pops up and you get the answer. And don't think too much into it. Accept it for what it is. Don't keep scrolling for more answers. That's another important thing. That's why I talk about inspired impulses. When you have an inspired impulse, don't overthink it. Do it. If you have an inspired impulse to go take a ride to, I use like Acme as an example, go ride to Acme and go get yourself a chocolate bar, go do it. Because I'm telling you, it's going to lead to more. Not lead to more in that store, but it's going to lead to more throughout your day. It's seriously like, it's everything. Start getting used to following those inspired impulses and not overthinking them in the moment. So like when you are asking, make sure you're just open to receive and accept the first thing. Like, don't try to overthink that first thing and keep scrolling for more information and I need more. Does that kind of make sense? Hi, Ava. What happens if I decide to ask for nothing and just focus on? Yeah, that's actually, you can definitely not ask for anything. You could just say, I just want to live my best life. Honestly, that's what I said. I was like, I just want to be happy. After manifesting and doing techniques and all that, I'm like, you know what? I just want to be happy. That's all I'm asking for. I just want to move towards my best life, whatever my best timeline is, like put me on that path. So you don't have to be specific. You really don't. Life will unfold for you very, very nicely. I don't control my thoughts, Catherine. I don't choose thoughts. Like I don't know if that's what you're asking, like on a daily basis. I don't make it about my thoughts at all. I make it about how I feel. It's always about how I feel. What feels good right now? Does this feel good? Should I do this? Does this feel better? Does that feel better? I don't know if that's what you were asking though. What do you do if you have obsessive thoughts? Practice non-reaction. Practice remaining calm. Practice relaxing into that resistance. It's just an unfavorable story. It's unfavorable thoughts. And in that moment, we want to dissolve them. And how you dissolve them, how they fade from your life, is you get as calm as possible. You practice non-reaction. You practice silence in those moments. Don't speak to anyone about them. Keep them as quiet as possible. Okla, oh, that's such a shame. I'm gonna say it's a shame because I just did not like school. And I'm like, you know what I used to do when I was when after school and I went back to school, what I would do? Find a way that works for you to study. I found that after 12 years of school, never even trying at all, when I went back to school, I did so well because I found a way that works for me to study, and it was through flashcards. I really liked flashcards. And wait, what's that? It was like, oh, quick Quiz it or something. And Quizit was really helpful too. And that's also flashcards. So that really helped me study. And also finding like a nice space for you to study. Like I would have my cup of tea, I would have like a little snack, and I would have my index cards, and that's how I would study. And I'm just telling you, I was the top of that class. So I needed to prove to myself that I could even do good at school. So that would be my best advice to you. Find an atmosphere that feels good when you're studying. If you're not in the mood, don't force yourself, because that's the worst thing to do, is force yourself to study. Try to make it pleasant for yourself. Does meditation help make things manifest faster? Yes. I am a firm believer in meditation, and I think meditation speeds things along because you're quieting your mind, you're quieting your unfavorable thoughts, you're quieting yourself from all the outside distractions. So yes, 100% meditation is so extremely powerful. That's a good quality to have, Brutus. That's awesome. That's awesome. And I think we all have that within us, right? Like that desire to help others and uplift others. I have to need to be. Yes. So it does talk a lot about meditation in there. Honestly, everything, non-reaction, meditation, breath work is even in there. There's a whole page. It's about, I'm going to say 40 pages, but it might only be 38 because I'm thinking of all like the title and all that. There's a lot of information in that, JB. Why not? I also have a free book on emotions, JB, that talks about the meditation practice that I used to do in the beginning, breath work and meditation. My mind is its own place, always fear-driven. So keep practicing calming your thoughts, meditation, breath work when you're not feeling so great. Make it more about feeling than more so trying to control your thoughts so much. Make it more about how you feel. And anytime you're not feeling so good, just practice relaxing into that resistance and not being afraid of it. Because the more you can relax into that discomfort, those moments of not feeling so great, they'll dissolve. Those stories will dissolve. Those unfavorable thoughts will dissolve. Those fear-based beliefs will dissolve. Oh no, I used to. So yeah, I don't believe in persisting in a manifestation, but I used to, in the very beginning with learning this, Neville and Joseph, I loved their stuff and listening to them. I just think it's a little bit outdated on the way the teachings are. That's why I kind of sway more towards Abraham Hicks, because I think it's more updated by making it about how you feel. Because you got to remember, we're unlimited, so we're always expanding and growing. I don't think all their stuff is bad or wrong. You know, they were connecting to infinite intelligence at their time as well, but we're always expanding and we're always growing. That's going to be forever, ever. Like, we're never going to not be learning more ways to do things. So I just think Abraham and Bashar, their teachings are more updated, and Abraham is more, and even Bashar talks about more about how you feel, and just, especially Abraham, in relaxing into that resistance. I've been probably only about like maybe over 3 years have I been really on this journey, but I didn't really, fully dive into making it about feeling and feeling good and non-reaction, probably about a year. And I only think it happened because, this is just my theory, is because when I first started learning this, I said I wanted to learn the easiest way possible and help people. I wanted to help people with this. So I believe that I kind of like had to go through the different ways to see what was best. Why do we need to update it if it works and it works? So that's up to you, Jonathan. Here's the thing. You can do whatever feels best for you. I'm just teaching what worked for me and what was best for me. And if people resonate, they resonate. But I don't force this upon anyone, right? You can still follow Neville's teachings. Abraham's teachings are just her teachings. That's all. And, you know, like I'm teaching through my experience as well. And if people resonate, they resonate. But the thing is like, what works for one person may not work for another. So it's not about like saying like there's only one way. There's many ways to do things. So it's about more so being open-minded to the different ways and trying different ways and seeing what works best for you. There's no one way to do things. Exactly, Brutus. And that alone took practice for me to, you know, I was learning and working through my triggers with people that would say, you're teaching this wrong and you're doing it wrong. And I knew that was an opportunity for me to just practice remaining calm. Of course, at first I was probably saying things back to them and, you know, trying to explain myself and get people to understand me. And I stopped that real quick. I was like, nope, this isn't fate. This is not going to work. You just have to understand that not everybody's going to understand you, and that's okay. Listen, you got to be yourself, because if you have to please everybody, that'll torture you for the rest of your life, right? You relax as me. Yeah, exactly. What Heather says, like you relaxing is the same thing as feeling good, right? It's like doing the best you can in those moments, but you're actually slowing the momentum down of those unfavorable stories, right? But you really have to understand like that your thoughts are creating your reality too. Like if I tell people this, they're going to be like, why do I got to do this? And I don't understand. And this isn't comfortable. Well, a lot of people don't even understand that your thoughts are constantly creating your reality. And anything that doesn't feel good is just an unfavorable thought and story. And when you realize that and you understand that when you're remaining calm in those moments, even though it's uncomfortable, you're actually slowing the momentum down of them and they're dying off. You're killing off these unfavorable stories. They don't feel good for a reason, right? They don't feel good because they don't serve you. That we are not. We need self-centered is ego. Say you wanted to manifest your eyesight to be clear again. As an example, what would be your steps? So yeah, I mean that one. I always say with things when people ask me about that, like I always say it's your path of least resistance, and it may lead you down a path that sends you to a doctor, right? So it's like going to be your path of least resistance. Like for me, with certain things, my beliefs completely evaporated on every topic of food, like when I was manifesting my healthy body. But if you told me to manifest me to have blue eyes, I couldn't do it. There's way too much resistance around that for me. So it's going to be your path of least resistance, knowing that that's a possibility for you, and just to keep practicing non-reaction on that topic if you have any resistance around it. But just know you're being guided towards it in this very moment. Like it's unfolding in this very moment, right? So it's like you'll be put on your own path of least resistance. That's why, like, for some people, it might be like, I tell people, like, wherever you're at, you might be going to a therapist for something. Like, you have to trust the process and trust that you are where you are and it's okay where you are. Or it might be to be put on a medication or something, right? Like, depending on the topic and what you're manifesting, you're going to be placed on your best path of least resistance. But just also know that it's going to keep getting better. So, like I would say, like, for me, at one point, you know, I'm trying to think of a good example, like one of my manifestations where like, it might have not been the full thing yet, but it kept getting better and better and better, right? Because it's always going to get better if you keep doing this practice. It's so true, JB, right? Let's create our reality for sure, right? The vibration, all you attract on the level you vibrate. Yes. Like that's the thing that I used to like, I used to like argue with myself a little bit, Ava, like that your thoughts are creating your reality. But the funny thing is that a lot of our thoughts are very repetitive and our lives we're just living our lives. So we don't realize that we're not thinking them too much because they're just they're just an experience. They become an experience, right? Over time. And we don't really realize that it is our thoughts, right? So that's something now that I've been really quieting my world and noticing that like it is your thoughts, but you don't realize that at first because not only do you have a ton of thoughts a day, but a lot of them are actually experiences in your life. So it's just you living your everyday life, right? Even though it might not be favorable. But it's that energetic, it's that like, what is it? Like the energy that you're placing behind that thought that it starts to manifest into your reality. Thoughts on non-duality. I don't get into any of that. Non-duality or anything like that. I just don't resonate with it. I don't think it doesn't like, if it doesn't catch me, I don't force myself to like understand it or research it or anything. That's normal, Nikki. It's very normal. It's very normal. Oh my God. And I think that's the thing. I think that's really always my biggest message, Nikki, is to let you know that that is so normal because get my book, my free ebook on emotions, Nikki, and it talks all about this. You are going to be so up and down in the beginning, so up and down. Just know you're always moving forward the more you practice this. I promise you, I'm telling you, you're going to have no resistance one day. If you keep doing this, but it doesn't feel that way now, no, especially on those low days, it does not feel like that. It feels like you're making no progress, but trust me, you are. And get my free ebook on emotions because it talks a lot about the ups and downs. And it also talks about my meditation and breath work, like exactly how I did it. Thanks, Heather. I love when you guys do that. Like you tag people and answer, like help me out there with that. It's so cool. So yeah, I never really got into like the non-duality stuff, or I tried to just keep things as simple as possible. So if it, most of that stuff, even Joe Dispenza, who I absolutely loved listening to in the beginning, I swayed away from. I tried to really just start really going within and trusting my own inner guidance. Where to get the free ebook? Nikki, check on my link. There's a link in there, and you'll see it'll have a link to my library. I think it says my library, and I think you have to put in your email or something, but it'll show you all my ebooks, and you'll see it. It says emotions on it. It talks all about kind of what you're saying, the ups and downs, and it explains it, and it'll really help you feel better to know you're not alone. Like, trust me. That's nothing wrong with that, Brutus. That's a good quality to have. All right, guys, I'm gonna jump off for the night. I have to get up early tomorrow. I could have pushed the time up, but I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it early. But I'll try to get back on tomorrow if I can, and I will repost this on I'll post this on my YouTube as well. And again, if you guys, anybody wants to jump in my private Facebook group, you can jump in the private Facebook group. And also Nikki, I don't know, are you in the private Facebook group, Nikki? Good night, BB. Good night, Sherry. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great night. Thanks, Matt. Thank you guys so much for helping me out. Have a good night. Good night, Karen. Love you guys. Have a good weekend if I don't get to talk to you guys, okay?